Hello guys! In this lesson we will have a look at different types of graphs. We will learn some useful graph vocabulary, and also you will learn how to describe a graph. And of course, while working with us today, you will pick up some interesting facts about London museums. First of all, we need to understand why it is important to be able to describe a graph. Remember, using graphs in your presentations lets you get your ideas across easily, and your audience will be able to visualize important points of your presentations and remember some points you would like them to remember. Okay, now we are ready to get acquainted with some types of graphs. The first one we have is called a bar graph. Because of the bars you can see. The second one which we have is called a line graph, because of the lines you can see in the graph. Also, we have a pie chart or a circle graph. As you can see, it looks like a real pie. And then we have what is called a pictograph. This name is given because the graph contains pictures which you can see in the graph. Okay, and now when you are acquainted with some types of graphs, we can learn some graph vocabulary which you can use in your explanations. We will learn the most important verbs, adjectives and adverbs. But I have prepared a tricky question for you. Let's see if you know how many museums are there in London. A. Over 1,000. B. 150. C. Over 250. Now you can pause the video and choose your answer. Okay, let's compare your answer with the right one. There are over 250 museums in London. And here in the pictures you can see some of the most famous London museums. Can you match these pictures with the names of the museums and the years of their foundation? Please pause your video again, do the task, and then we will see if you were right. Well done. The first picture depicts the British Museum. The second picture depicts the Natural History Museum. And the last picture depicts the Science Museum. And as you can see, the British Museum is the oldest one, and the Natural History Museum is the youngest one. Okay, now let's have a look at this graph. This graph depicts the number of visitors to these three museums from June to September in 2013. Okay, let's describe the upper line. So, the number of visitors to the British Museum rocketed from 600,000 to 750 from June to July, and dropped dramatically from July to August, and then increased steadily in September. Okay, instead of rocket, we can use such verbs as increase, go up, and rise. Instead of the word drop, we can use such verbs as decrease, reduce, plummet. And if the number of something stays at the same level, we can use the verb remain stable, or stay constant, or remain steady. So let's make up some sentences about these lines together. So, for example, the number of visitors to the Natural History Museum dropped dramatically from June to July and reached its lowest point. Then it remained stable from July to August and then increased slightly in September. Okay, and now make sure that you know the meaning of each word. If not, just Google the meaning, and then you will be able to use these adjectives, verbs, and adverbs in your explanations. Okay, now we have just one more task left. Please look at the screen. You can see example description of this line graph. Listen to my instructions and then pause the video, do the task, and then we continue our work. So, my instructions. Read the text to yourself. Complete the text with the right forms of the verbs in brackets and right prepositions. I hope everybody is ready. So now I offer you to read the correct answer. Okay, you can see the text on screen and read it together. The graph showed how many people visited 3 London museums in the summer of 2013. Most visitors went to the British Museum between June and September. The number fluctuated between 600,000 and 750,000. By contrast, the Science Museum and the Natural History Museum received fewer visitors. The number of people who visited the Science Museum dropped gradually from 400,000 to 300,000 from June to August, then rose to 450,000 in September. We can see that the trend for the Natural History Museum was similar. There was a sharp drop in visitors from June to July. The number remained stable in August and then increased steadily in September. Well done! Now our lesson is coming to the end. As English proverb says, diligence is the mother of success. So here you can find much more examples and tasks. Remember, never give up. The harder you work, the better results you will have. Goodbye.